Let's get talking to a couple of companies then. We have Kapil Wadhwan, the CMD of Dewan Housing, joining in now. Kapil, hi. Thank you very much for joining in. Before we get to the expectations of how affordable housing might in fact boost, Dewan Housing's loan prospects, if that does come through in the budget, we wanted to start by asking you about the QIP and the fundraising undertaken by the company. We do understand that it's open at this point in time. How much are you looking to raise, and how much has possibly the interest been at this point?
No, it was open till this morning. I'm happy to announce that we have successfully, after receiving a strong, overwhelming support from the global investor community, closed the QIP issue of 430 million. The base issue size was kept at 100. We obviously received strong support, which led to oversubscriptions, and we decided to retain another 30 million over the 100 million base. So 130 million, we have closed the issue, and that's the current status.
Okay, Kapil, hi, morning. So, how much is your equity dilution because of this QIP, and what would be the proceeds used for?
Very clearly, I mean, the proceeds are this is to supplement our loan growth going forward. We have been growing at a fairly brisk pace in the last few years. Whilst the base level disbursement numbers as well as the loan book growth has been inching up, we are fairly optimistic that this money which we have raised will at least be good for at least the next 3 years for taking our loan book growth to our loan book assets under management to almost 100,000 crores. In terms of dilution, this equates to a 12.3% dilution thereabouts on the current market cap. So it's a significant raise. It's probably the largest raise that we've done in the last couple of years for ensuring strong growth for our home finance business.
Okay. Can you tell us, Kapil, what sort of interest you saw from investors, domestic as well as foreign?
No, whilst we had significant interest from the domestic investors as well, and they participated, but the foreign institutional investors, which predominantly accounted for and the long only funds accounted for nearly 90% of the investment, there was an extremely overwhelming support and response, and that is showcased in the oversubscriptions that we received on this money raise. In fact, initially the plan was to raise about 500 crores, which obviously we upscaled the base level book size to about 100 million. But then we post the response that we got, we thought of retaining about 30 million of that and close the issue.
Okay, so Kapil, what kind of loan growth can we expect now from Dewan Housing? I think in last quarter it was around 20% or so.
See, over the next couple of years, we see a 20% loan growth, to be a sustainable, growth rate, because we have been growing at 40% plus, which is way above what the industry has been growing at. Today, our average, disbursements as well as approvals are up significantly. So this year we'll probably end up with about 20,000 crores of loan book disbursement, fresh disbursements. So yes, a 20% growth from here on will be sustainable and look sustainable for the next couple of years, especially looking at the focus on the government's focus on affordable housing and the expectation that we have, from the budget.
What will it take your capital adequacy ratios to now? You mentioned that you don't need funds for 3 years, for the next 3 years as well.
We were sufficiently capitalized even before this fundraise. I mean, our capital adequacy ratio was, in the range of 15.5% as against a 12% requirement from the NHB. Obviously, post this raise, this CAR is going to move beyond 20%.
Okay.
You know, which is quite significant, and most of it is going to be Tier 1 capital.
Okay. You also have applied for a small bank license. In case you were to get that, would you require more capital? Would you be going in for another round of fundraising?
You know, it's too early to call. Firstly, we'll be extremely overwhelmed ourselves if RBI was to consider us worthy and give us a license. But if at all we do, you know, it's going to be still 2 years before we get down to you know, doing the implementation of you know, or converting ourselves into a banking entity. But yes, for now we are sufficiently capitalized, and even if we don't get the license, we are on our way to doing what we have been good at.
Okay. Kapil, just wanted to end this conversation by asking you what exactly is the expectation for affordable housing from the budget, according to you, which would be the top 3 things which would boost affordable housing, which is a realistic expectation as well, and how would it possibly help you in the next financial year, possibly in loan growth?
You know, we have been a low and a middle income segment player for almost 30 years now, and have some leadership position there in the Tier 2, Tier 3 geographies in the country. Now, clearly, you know, the tax exemption moving up from 150,000 rupees to you know, say 300,000 rupees is a realistic expectation, considering that you know, prices have moved up. You know, the cost per unit, that's the cost of the house, you know, has moved up in those locations. So effectively, the average ticket size of the loan has also consequently moved up. So yes, we are looking at you know, a raise in the exemption limits. Second is on stamp duty. I think stamp duty still continues to be a big impediment, especially in the smaller cities and towns. In some states, for example, it's as high as 16%. So yes, I mean, taking affordable housing outside the ambit of those high stamp duty rates will surely reduce the costs associated with owning a home.
All right.
Thirdly, most importantly, are interest rates, and we do hope that through strong fiscal prudence in this budget, you know, RBI reacts positively and starts reducing interest rates, because that reduction in rate is going to go a long way. You know, more than what you would for you know, when it comes to stamp duty or tax exemption.
Okay, point taken, Kapil. Thanks a lot for your time today. So that's the call from Dewan Housing, which raised money via QIP.